Hi darlings, it's Nish here. This is a exciting video today. I've gotten a lot of requests recently, and since I've started this YouTube journey, even before then when I was just sharing my little world online in glimpses, I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys just asking or just wanting a little bit of insight on what type of media I consume, what art I find inspiration from, the things that kind of surround me and inspire me. So I'm going to just guide you through a little bit of the things I've been indulging in, watching, reading in the last few months, in most recent times. I am the type of person, especially given my life circumstances as of late, life's been super demanding and quite intense, and a lot of you, this also ties in, I should have clarified, this also ties in because a lot of you are asking about media specifically for those who are easily overstimulated, those who just want something that's a little bit more peaceful, and they are grounds I am quite familiar with because, yeah, I myself, given what I've been going through these last few months, as work has been a lot more stressful, I've just wanted my switch off time and my peaceful time and my alone time to kind of transport me to another space, another little land of whimsy and nostalgia. I love to revisit some beautiful memories of the past and places that influenced me growing up. I am such a creature of habit. I will always return to the same few comfort films, books, all those sorts of things, as much as I love growing. But right now, this is a little insight to where I'm at and what I've been taking in. I'm going to cover some books today. I've got some oracle cards that I've been using, which I thought we could tie in a little bit of a witchy note in here, given that's what my world surrounds. And I've got some music recommendations, I've got some albums, and we'll just see. We'll see what comes to mind. I'm just going to have a little ramble, but I am so excited. It's feeling beautiful, peaceful, got my candles lit, and I just love being in my room and talking, so it's a good combination. But yeah, let's get into it. Okay, we're starting off with books. I've got a big stack here. I just wanted to cover the sorts of books that I've been focusing on the last little while, or just have been the most intriguing for me. And yeah, they're quite versatile. They're not all, super intense books that require you to sit and take everything in. Sometimes I just like something that you can flick through, it's easy, digestible. Anyways, my first suggestions, these books are the coolest things I've ever come across. I'll get a close-up shot in a moment, but in terms of the witchcraft world and the world of, magic, charms, spells, the Crones book series by Valerie Worth have been the sweetest things to ever come into my path. I came across these at, of all places, the Renaissance fair that I recently went to about, I think that was 2 months ago almost. And I got one from one stand, this one here, which is the Crones book of magical words. And then I took another 2 steps and came across this one at another store, which was secondhand in a pile of books. And I, of course, already bought this one, so I thought, you know what, if it's gonna show up twice in different forms, I think it's only fair I buy the other. And I can't stop flicking through them, and I've used some of the charms and spells in here. But yeah, they're wonderful, and they covered a lot of really nice territory. Let's have a squiz. This one's the charms and spells book. And it's, got candles, incenses, preparation of balms, fragrant tinctures, ceremonial potions, and wow. It's just got everything. It's beautiful, but they have a lot of instructional guides on a bit more of an old school homely take on witchcraft, which is really cool. She's got a section of inscriptions and sigils, which is amazing. The exact imagery that goes with each of those. I find it inspiring to get a peek into the old world of witchcraft. Then this one is the Crones Book of Magical Words, which is more just straight up spells and charms, mantras, those sorts of things. And again, there's some really quirky ones in here, but I definitely think these are really cool books, and I want to collect more of hers. But I think she was mainly a poet, which is cool, and she only published maybe the 2, there might be a 3rd of the Crones book series. But yeah, these books are really nice. I like them a lot. Okay, next up, like I was saying earlier, I'm such a creature of habit. I love returning to classics. I think it's a very overlooked way of reading. Like, sure, I've read all the self-help books and I've gone through the phases of, you know, all sorts of literature, but right now I just want to take things easy and have a little bit of a breather. And it's actually really interesting to me how much some of the classics are so different and so far from the movies or the depictions we're familiar with. One of my fondest memories of the last little while is taking this Peter Pan. I got this at my local bookshop. The cover really just drew me in. And I've read Peter Pan when I was younger, but again, I don't think it was the original version. But I took this book, sat up by the fireplace in my lounge room and just sat and read. And it was just so nice to revisit that childlike mind where it just made all my problems shrink. I was in Neverland. I was loving it. And yeah, I definitely suggest giving them a chance. The old schools are classics for a reason. But yeah, this Peter Pan, it was actually very like a little bit darker than the versions we're all familiar with. But it was really beautiful and I just loved every second of going through this book. Another one I'll always suggest, I've only got Anne of Avonlea here, but Anne of Green Gables is just gorgeous. I love Jane Austen. I'm such a sucker for revisiting classics. I don't think I will ever grow tired of them. All of my books are secondhand just about. I love to just flick through, you know, secondhand stores, tips, all sorts of things and see what jumps out. Even the ones with covers that aren't even legible or, you know, you can't even read what the titles are. Just give them a chance, have a little flick through, see if some words stick to you. And I think a lot of the times they've been my favorite books are the ones that are a little bit off the radar or forgotten. And the last book that I want to talk about was actually gifted to me by one of my close friends. It's Notes on Shapeshifting. It's by a creator, I know her as Sai Swoon. But yeah, her name is Gabi Abrao. I probably said that really wrong. It's a poetry book that is just so beautifully done. I really, really enjoy reading this. And it was another one that, you know, it came with a lot of insight, but it was almost like I was reading like diary entries. As you flick through this, it's really personal, it's super casual. It's quite reminiscent of the way I like to write as well. And yeah, it's beautiful. Like some of the chapters are romance is a medium and a kiss is a portal and exercises in shape-shifting. It's a, yeah, really lovely poetry book and it kind of has some other stories and it's just, yeah, covers some really nice themes of girlhood, being a woman, even just being a young adult going through life and navigating that journey. It's just very real, very raw, and I love this book. I really do. Okay, so now I'm going to be moving on to cards. I am going to show you some oracle cards that I love. I've collected both of these from my work. Actually, no, I found one of the decks at a secondhand store. So first up I have this wonderful deck. It's called Woman's Bodies, Woman's Wisdom, and it's by Christiane Northrup. This is a rather old deck because of the sticker. I can tell by the stickers in the store I work in that yeah, she's got a lot of dead stock or just things that have been around for a little while and no one's discovered. These cards are wonderful. They've got beautiful illustrations. It's a healing card deck, so they're not so much oracle. They work in their own fashion, but I've done some really lovely readings with these cards and they just give me a little bit of guidance on what is needed in terms of slowing down or what my body's calling for. It has a few different themes instead of the suits, but it's like fertility and creativity, partnership, self-expression, and yeah, the imagery is gorgeous, old-timely paintings and old art pieces. They're wonderful. The back's got some beautiful angel wings. I only usually pull 3 cards with these. I don't do anything too in-depth or thorough. I have other cards for that. But yeah, these are a wonderful deck. If you're just wanting something that's easy to digest and isn't so much about life guidance and more about what needs some reflection within and what needs some, you know, reanalyzing and recalibrating. So these are wonderful for that. These are the other cards. They're another Doreen Virtue deck. I've got a good collection of hers. They do my best readings. they were the first cards I ever got as well, back when I was about 14. And yeah, I personally really love her decks. These ones found me at a secondhand store, which I've never come across Oracle secondhand or tarot, anything of that world. But I actually found 2 of her decks that I believe are from the 90s, both of them, over a period of 7 months. I think I found one and then the other, and I personally really love them. These specific ones are Healing with the Fairies, and these are Oracle cards. So again, you can do larger spreads. I think 5 is ample for these sorts of cards that are a little bit more vague in terms of what they cover, but they are still really wonderful. I've used these on a fair few of my nights with my friends here that I host. They're quite simple, they don't have a big blurb or anything on them. This is quiet time, there's letting go, self-reliance, trust your intuition, just things like that. Again, they're rather nurturing, gentle cards, which is a reoccurring theme in what I'm showing you today. Okay, so moving into music. I have a few artists that I've had on replay. I am the type of listener that likes to replay music. I don't know why, it's my little fixation, it always has been. Everyone around me knows that and they're aware of that trait of mine, but I have been listening and, well, I have been revisiting a lot of my old time favourites. Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Vashti Bunyan again. Not that I ever stopped, but her album Just Another Diamond Day has been on replay for a rather large chunk of this year. It's just beautiful, peaceful. I love the mood it sets. It's my morning album. It's my wake up, make my cereal, drink some tea, sit at my dressing table and get ready for the day type of playlist. Or even just the morning stroll, it's really great for that. But yeah, I love her words, her stories. I love her ability to tell such vivid stories. I love the little world that I enter when I listen to her stuff. The next person I want to talk about is one that you probably know I love, and I'm sure most of you do already, but Enya, and her album Shepherd Moons has just, oh, it's been medicine. I really love it. I love that whimsical dark fantasy mood that her music sets. And I literally always have it on replay. Light some candles. Here's a little tip from me. Light some candles, have a nice bath or a nice shower in, you know, the flickering light of a candle listening to Enya, and you will be a new person after the shower. It is a wonderful experience. Her music is so special, and I will be another forever fan of hers. I love visiting archives of old artists, and I just listen to old artists in general most of the time. These are just my playlists that are for, you know, invoking those feelings that are a little bit less intense, that don't require too much emotion. It's just an easy listen, sends you somewhere nice, and for these artists I'm very grateful. And lastly, I have been listening, this is nothing more than pure honesty, I've been listening a lot to my own music and my sisters. So my twin sister Janae and I have a music project called Surely Shirley, which I'm pretty sure most of you would know by now. We're currently working on some exciting things, working very hard, big days, a lot of brain power is going into this project, but it's bringing us so much joy. Just to be able to share it has brought enough fulfillment in itself. So yeah, we're very happy. I've just been listening tirelessly to all of our tracks in the cohesive order to see how the journey feels, what the songs feel like as a story or as a whole, as like one body of work, and it's just been really wonderful. If you like music that's a little bit dreamy, we have inspiration drawn from the Beach Boys, the Mamas and the Papas, people we grew up listening to thanks to our grandparents and our mum. But there's, yeah, a good few artists, some modern influences too, like I love Lana, so some of the vocals have that like a little bit of a Lana-esque ring to them. I won't over-describe because these inspirations sound so different to everyone who listens to our music, but it's very personal, it's very curated and plucked straight from our minds to you guys. So If you feel called to listen, please do. There's some exciting things coming and I can't wait to keep sharing them with you all. I'm going to be vlogging a little bit of this journey. I've already started, but they're yet to come out, so hang in there. It's exciting. So lastly, we'll have a little chat about some films. I haven't been watching an awful lot of movies. My partner Mason and I have been watching Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon when we can, and those are quite far from being gentle and not overstimulating, but I've been loving watching that as a series with him. So in honesty, that's what I have been watching if I do sit down to watch something, if I do get a moment. But in terms of my alone time and the movies that I tend to revisit, they're again very influenced by who I was as a child. That child's still in there and she still very much loves these movies. Ever After, featuring Drew Barrymore, I forget what year it is, I think it's like late 90s it came out, is forever going to be one of my favourite films. I think I'm really big on imagery, setting, costume design, the time period, which is, it's very evident to why I like this film. If you have seen it or if you decide to watch it. It's adaptation of Cinderella, which I know there is an absolute overload of Cinderella takes. They are a story that can definitely be a little too familiar, a little overdone, but please trust me, this version of Cinderella is just so different, and it really creates such a unfamiliar feeling in terms of the familiar grounds of Cinderella. Like, we all know Cinderella. Drew Barrymore's beautiful, I love her, and I don't know if it's because I see a lot of the woman I wanted to be as a child watching this movie through her character Danielle, or actually no, I do think that is the main factor in why I love this movie so much, but it's really inspiring and I just love the beauty of it. I don't think there's too much deeper than that, but it's a very lovely movie. Okay, so the last one that comes to mind tying into the books I'm reading, I did watch Anne with an E, the series, with my sister earlier this year, and it was the first time I completely watched it through. I watched it as it came out when I was younger, but it is such a beautiful series if you just want to just be taken into this old worldly time, and it's just really comforting. I love the show. My sister and I, it was like our happy place. I'd bake a cherry pie, we'd go sit in the lounge room and watch that series like every other night, and it was just a really beautiful time. So I do like that series, but my favourites are the film, the original. Well, I don't know if they're the original, but the films that I know as the original from the 80s the novel adaptations of Anne of Green Gables. So I think there's a good few. I think they may cover all of the books in film version. But yeah, the 80s Anne of Green Gables, I don't know if, I really struggle to find them online. I think I end up having to buy them directly off the site, but it is worth it if you haven't watched them already. These are classics, so I know a lot of you will have watched them, but maybe it would just give you a little idea to, you know, revisit a classic or something that made you feel good as a child, because I think they can invite room for a lot of peace and just give you a chance to switch off and indulge in those nice feelings. And yeah, I think it's a really lovely thing. But yeah, Anne of Green Gables in both. I like Anne with an E, the series as well, which is on Netflix, I believe. It's still there. Both are great. I suggest both highly. But yeah, that I think is a nice little insight to what I've been taking in lately. I've got plenty more where that came from. If you like this sort of video, I am more than happy to film another, and yeah, keep sharing elements of what makes me me and who I am as a person, because I know we're still getting to know each other. These are early days, but yeah, I'm grateful for, you know, the love and support that you have shown me so far. Making these videos has been a beautiful part of my week. I know I had a break for a moment, but it was because of music, and I did go through some loss in my life with family members, which was a bit hectic and heavy to move through, so I just allowed myself some space and time, which I don't usually do, but it was definitely needed, and I feel wonderful right now, and back on track. But yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I've got a beautiful Monday afternoon to create. I think I'm going to paint So that'll be nice. I'm excited. But yeah, anyways, I will see you next time, guys. All the love.